All right, what's up, everybody? Listen, I just made a couple moves in my crypto portfolio, and I wanted to make a very fast update for you, going over exactly what those moves were that I made in my portfolio and exactly why I made them. So I don't have much time. I am still on a family vacation, and we're about to play some board games. So excuse me if I go through this kind of quickly, but I like to keep you all as updated as possible. So what we can see is that the crypto market's looking pretty solid today. The top 100, for the most part, is in the green, with things like Trump, Virtual Pi, and Hex looking pretty dang on good. And if we actually zoom into the top 10, you can see that translating to the top 10 as well. You got Bitcoin right around 115K, ETH right around 4,200, BNB trying to reclaim 1150, Solana reclaiming $200. I mean, a decent day here in the crypto market. Now, although on the surface it may seem like this is just a decent day, there is actually a lot that is happening. And when I break down these charts for you here in a second for Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum, you're actually going to notice that this is really a pivotal moment here in the crypto market, which is what caused me to make some moves. So if we first and foremost go look at Bitcoin, what we can see is that Bitcoin's price has now officially reached the mid-range of this range that we've been in. So I told you all recently, listen, Bitcoin is ranging between $126,000 and $107,000. And I'm under the belief that whenever Bitcoin gets to right around this $116,000 to $115,000 level, it's going to be a very important moment to watch closely. Because what we can see is that Bitcoin has had a history of bouncing off of this little mid-range area. And what I can actually do is let me go in and let me just draw in a little, let's go ahead and call it like 114.8 up to say $118,000. This little zone right here. And what you can see is that this, recently, especially, has been a very important level, right? When you came down to it right around here, we saw a bounce back to the upside. When you came up to it right here, you saw a bounce back towards the downside. When we recovered back right here and we got up to this yellow zone, we got rejected. Right here, we got rejected. And so the middle of this range between 126 and 107,000 is obviously very important. And so knowing that we're at that range right now and we are starting to see Bitcoin's price slow down a little bit at it, it clearly goes to show that this is a very important moment here for the Bitcoin price, that this is actually a key level of resistance, a very strong resistance zone. And so knowing that this is a strong resistance zone, what I've actually gone ahead and done is I did take a little bit of profit off the table from my Bitcoin bag. What you can see is that yesterday at 8:18 p.m. I put over in the Discord, I said Bitcoin is now pulling up to mid-range resistance. I'm taking medium profit from the $103.6 thousand purchase that we did at 115K. If you've been on the channel for the last week, you know as Bitcoin's price hit right around 103.6K, we went in and we did a pretty sizable purchase right here on Bitcoin, having a feeling that it may reverse. Now, we accidentally timed that bottom perfectly, again, purely by accident, but still, and from that purchase that we did back there, Bitcoin's price is now up a good, pretty solid 11%. And so naturally, knowing that we got a really good swing trade here, we were able to pick up some sizable Bitcoin right here, push up towards now a key zone of resistance. I've taken a little bit of profit off the table. Now, I'm not taking all my profit off the table, don't get me wrong. I have no reason to do that because, again, I still do believe that one day Bitcoin is going to break through the top side of this range. So I'm not going to go ahead and take all of my, my I was about to say ducks out the race, but I don't think that makes sense. But I'm not going to take all my hands off the table, right? I want to still have some Bitcoin available if its price does push upwards. So I'm just taking a little bit of profit. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. Just rewarding myself for scooping up this low and now riding it all the way to a key zone of resistance. And if Bitcoin's price can push through this key zone of resistance, great. I'm going to take more profit to the top side. And let's say its price breaks out of this range, great. I'm going to take more profit to the top side. I never exit all at once. I never go all in at once. I move in intervals. And this is the first interval that I'm doing, which is taking some profits off of Bitcoin right now at $115,000. Now, another reason why I have made this decision is because what we are seeing on the liquidation charts. What we can see is that actually on the 7-day, even though Bitcoin's price easily may push up towards 118K to continue liquidating to the top side, there's a lot of long leverage traders that are now available down below us. And I think at any given point, these market manipulators might flip the script and immediately push the price back down to try to liquidate all of these people, especially if anything weird happens with the CPI and the Fed and all that stuff this week, right? And so knowing, of course, that we have all of these liquidations available to the downside, knowing that we're also at a key zone of resistance that has rejected us previously, I'm not going to take a risk in not locking in any profit. I'm going to take some profit off the table right here, which is, again, what I announced in the school just last night. Now, in addition to that, I've also taken profits off of Ethereum and Solana. Now, the reason why I took profits off Ethereum and Solana is very, very simple. My strategy for Ethereum and Solana are this: buy when it's in the green zone and sell in the red zone. And so as Ethereum's price, for example, came down to this green zone a couple days ago, you all know I told you I'm buying some ETH right now. And I said I'm going to sell some of this Ethereum if it pushes into the red zone. So what did I do? It pushed into the red zone. Now I've sold some, successfully swing trading from the low side of this descending channel to the top side of this descending channel, and actually locking in a really, pretty, I would say, sizable gain here of about 14% for ETH. And if we look at Solana, it's a very similar picture. Solana's price rallied all the way to the bottom side of this green channel, took some profit, or all right, sorry, I went in and did my purchase, rode that bad boy to the top side, took some profits right here. It came back down to the green zone again. We did a little bitty tiny purchase on that live stream, and then it's now pushed back up into the red zone, took some profit here. So while most people are losing money because Solana, for example, and Ethereum, for example, are in downtrends, we're locking in gains and actual realized profits because we're playing this game perfectly right now, buying in the green and selling in the red. So I'm going to continue to do that. Buy the green, sell the red. And if it pushes through the top side of this channel, great. Guess what? I'll just take more profit. So for Ethereum and Solana, I took some profit because it's at the top side of the channel. And for Bitcoin's price, I took some profit because now we're at the 50% way mark through the bottom side of this range and the top side of this range, which is when I like to take some small profit off the table. So that was the only selling that I did. As you all know, I actually did buy a little bit of a micro cap not too long ago. This was actually the only purchase that I've done in the last couple days. I purchased a crypto called Masterbot. At the time, its price was kind of flatlined a little bit. We had been stuck around that like 2.8 level, 2.9 level for a little while. What's actually pushed up a ton, especially over the last little bit here, over the last 7 days, it's pushed up 73%. Now it's currently at 3.5 cents and up over 30% since the first time that I talked about it on the channel and over in the school. So I know a ton of you who did buy that. Congratulations, you're already locked in on a 30% gain. And the cool part about it is that it's only a 35 mil market cap. I think $50 to $100 million in market cap under the right circumstances is super reasonable, especially considering the fact that, for example, they just recently came out and had a huge breakthrough with their team in which they were able to push their simulation from over 10 million steps overnight to over 2 billion steps overnight, which is a massive increase. And we're talking hundreds of percentages in steps. So as a result of all of this, they've been getting invited to do events. They're doing something with NVIDIA. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And so they're really starting to garner a ton of attention in the AI space, especially because of this thing with NVIDIA. And so because of that, and by the way, that's just tomorrow. So, I mean, that's coming up pretty soon here. But because of this, as they are growing their ecosystem and they're really starting to develop, people are talking about them. They're making more money. They're spending money on marketing. They're getting a lot of attention. And we're up real good. I think getting 100% gain on this thing seems pretty reasonable. So I am excited and hoping we can see this thing push up towards 4.5 or 5 cents soon here and lock in a nice 100% gainer. That would be fantastic. So that was the only purchase that I've done recently, was on Masterbot. And then I took some profit again, as I mentioned before, on Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. Outside of that, I haven't made any moves whatsoever. What you got to understand is that the market still is in neutral. Like even though we were in fear a couple of days ago when I did a big accumulation, now we're back in neutral. So now's not the time to be doing anything super big. It's more just kind of riding the wave, locking in some small profits, playing around with some micro caps, make a little extra cash there, and wait the market out. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll obviously keep you guys updated as the market does continue to move on, as I continue to make my own next move. So do make sure that you're turning on those notifications. And another thing that I will let you know is that if you want to see when I am, for example, buying Masterbot, which the whole school saw this, they saw when I bought it. Now many of them are up 30%, or many of them are also in on the purchases that we made, and now they're locking in gains on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. So if you want to join a community of really thriving crypto investors, I mean, look at the community gains chat, for example. Look at this: 82% gain, 300% gain, 7%, 50%, 80%, 80%, 300. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And you can see this: 400%, 45, 72. The gains speak for themselves. This is one of the most profitable communities I've ever seen before. So if you want to take your crypto game up to the next level, like really up to the next level, see what I'm doing, get workshops, classes, coaching, all that stuff, the link is down below. And just one of you watching this video right now at checkout, if you use OCT27, like October 27th, one person gets a 20% discount when they sign up to the crypto school today. I only do one of these per day. The last code that we went live with yesterday sold out in literally 4 minutes after this video went live. So they're hot in demand. Okay, so if one of you wants that, the link will be down below. Go check out the school. Put in code OCT27 when you sign up. You're going to get a discount. Make sure you turn on your notifications. I'll keep you all updated as all this plays out. I hope you guys have been enjoying seeing what I'm doing in these crazy times. If it has been helpful, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.